There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino is the Name. Hey, yo, what's going on? Right now you're watching Casino is the Name, and I did a poll not too long ago where I was asking, how long could you live off $1 million? So I got a lot of different answers. A lot of people said for the rest of their lives. I don't know who can actually live off $1 million for the rest of their life unless they're older or something like that. I'm just gonna try to break down some real numbers for you. $1 million used to seem like God money, right? It used to seem like an unbelievable amount of money, right? So if you had either $1 million check or if you just worked until you made $1 million, how long would it take you either to work to make $1 million or like how long could you survive off $1 million with no other income coming in for the rest of your life? So it's interesting to see so many people say that they can survive forever. Like that's all the money that they'll ever need. And I don't know how that's possible, but I'm gonna just give you guys some real numbers, okay? So the average household income, and I just looked it up right before this, just so you know my numbers were easily researchable, right? So if you type in Google average household income in 2019, it'll say $63,688. That's right, $63,688. This is not the ballers. This is not the lowest income. This is just the median income. So it says $63,688. Okay. If you divide $1 million by $63,688, that'll give you roughly around 15 years or so, 15 and a half years. You can look this up, just put in your calculator, $1 million divided by $63,688, which means basically in layman's terms that if you make $63,000 a year, $63,688 to be exact, if you make $63,688 per year, you will see $1 million in 15 and a half years or so. Less than 16 years, you will have earned $1 million. Now, I can tell you that if you earn $63,688 per year right now for the next 16 years, you will not be living like a millionaire. You will not be living like a millionaire. You will not be balling out of control. You will eat a lot of that money. You will pay a lot of that money in rents and mortgages and maybe tuitions, maybe student loans, maybe car notes, credit card bills. You will spend a lot of that money. So $1 million, if I just gave you $1 million right now and you live like the average citizen in the United States, it'll probably last you 15 to 16 years. And if you're somebody who spends a lot more money like myself, I'm very aware that I have seen $1 million and spent it at the same time. Like I've seen $1 million and I've spent more than $1 million in my life. I know that for a fact. I probably spent about $110,000 a year, which is crazy. It's crazy to say. So $1 million would probably last me less than 10 years, so 9 years or so. And that is, that's just my life, right? Like, and it is by no means for anybody to feel like this is like balling or anything, because there are people who spend $1 million on a watch. I'm not one of those people, but just my average living and life, I spend about $110,000 a year. So it is not meaning that I save $110,000 a year, nowhere close to nothing like that, but I spend about $110,000 a year, and that's just the reality of my situation. Now, I know people who spend way more money than that. So this is just all based on what you spend. Now, there are some people out there who probably live off of $25,000. So if you live off of $25,000, that means every 4 years it takes you to make $100,000. So if it takes you 4 years to make $100,000 and you got $1 million, then You get it, right? You get it, 40 years, right? I don't know how they do that, but you can live a long time. But if you're expecting to live past, let's say if you're 19 making $25,000 a year, and you got 40 years, you'll still hit 60 and still, hopefully you'll still be alive, right? And the average life expectancy is creeping up to about 90 years old. I don't know the exact number, I haven't looked that up, but it's creeping up there, right? To about 90 years old. And so if you even right now, if you make $25,000 a year over the next 40 years, which inflation is going to eat that up, right? You definitely need to be making more money than that. And even now, $25,000 a year is like, you got to get some money. Like if you out there making $25,000 a year, watch this video, go get you some money. Like you need to go get some more money. We all need to go get some more money, but you got to go get some more money. But so $25,000 a year it will last you 40 years, but it's still like, you're gonna live another 30 years, or you're expected to live another 30 years. So it's all perspective. It's all on how much you spend to live and things like that. But $1 million does not go as far as we think it does, or we thought it did as children. That's just the reality. You'll spend $1 million and not even know it over time, right? So I had to sit down with my mom, and we were like looking at her history, and I was telling her, like, I spent $1 million. I know she spent over $1 million, right? And she was like, well, I never made as much money as you make or whatever. But I was like, Mom, it's just simple numbers, right? If you're making $50,000 a year for 20 years, that's $1 million, right? Like it's just simple numbers. And when you see it, you're like, wow, like, that's crazy. And she's my mom, right? So she's over 60, over 65. So imagine the amount of money that's came in that she spent through time, just time. And so anyway, right now you watching Casino Is a Name. I just did this video just to kind of address the poll that I did on my community section. And I thought it was interesting to see so many people saying they can live for the rest of their life. And maybe if you're older, maybe if you're not expecting to live to be 70, maybe you're 70, maybe you're not expecting to live 40 more years or something like that. But just thought it was interesting. But again, my number is around 9 years. There's some people who spend $250,000 a year, and that's spending, right? And some, don't even think about the doctors, right? Like there are doctors out there who have student loans that are $300,000, and they're gonna pay them off in the next 3 years alone, right? That ain't even, it's just crazy numbers out there, man. But everybody has their own perspective. But if you just lived as a base, like the average person, or like what the average median salary is in the United States, then you're gonna spend $1 million in 15 to 16 years. Anyway, right now you're watching Casino Is a Name. Like, subscribe, comment. Make sure you hit the bell. The bell will let you know the next time I upload a video. Anyway, I'm out.
Yeah. We turn up. Hey man, my name Casino. Yeah man, I was just a hood kid trying to get rich. Turning up, we turning up. Freestyle, vibe with the kid. Hey, and they won't stop until we all in jail. Hear me? Hey, all in jail. And they won't stop until we all in jail. And they won't stop until we all in hell. And that's a struggle, I know. And that's the way this shit go. Turn it up. We turn it up. AMP, we turn it up. A-Tune, we turn it up. We act a fool.
Knowing the way we grew up, the environment we was in, the mentality we had, and then to change my life and all my accomplishments, all of the countries, all of the countless cities I've been to. I even surprised myself. You gotta understand, This wasn't even something I could have dreamed. How could you want something you didn't know exists? You gotta think. I ain't know nobody who did what I did, who lived the way I lived. I've been around the world so many times by myself, I didn't even know how to communicate with people where I'm from. I went from hustling in the projects in Tallahassee to exploring castles in Europe. I partnered with Italians. I made money in Germany. I still only got stabbed in the back by people I cared about. So instead of being surrounded by snakes, I'd rather sit in my mansion alone. There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino is the name.